You know, when you get that dry tickle in your throat and you can't stop coughing at random moments? That's what's been going on with me. So I'm gonna keep this on standby. Let's talk about my favorite books from 2024. I know it's 2025, but I haven't gotten around to sharing it with you guys. I shared it on my Bookstagram. You can follow me there. I'll have the link provided below in the description box. I'm a little more active on there, so if you want to stay updated in real life time, give me a follow on there. So I want to go over my favorites from 2024 because it's never too late to share your favorites. I love favorite videos, and I want to also share the books that I want to read this year. My reading goal is 35 because last year I believe I read around 30. I might have forgotten to add a book or two to my Goodreads because I'm trying to stay on top of just one reading tracker, and so far so good. Also be provided in the description box below if you want to follow me there for real life reading updates. So out of all those books, I really don't have that many favorites, but you know, these stood out from the selection. They just meant something to me. I just appreciated, whether it was the story, the writing, or the author. That's why I picked it out. They just stood out to me. And that's not to say the other books were bad. I enjoyed every single book that I read. I think in 2024, I only DNF'd about 2 books. I won't say what they were. No, actually, I lied. I DNF'd 1 book, but I finished another book and just did not like it. I pushed through. So with that being said, I'm going to share with you my favorites that stood out to me the most. So I need a sip first. Not sponsored. I do run on Dunkin' a lot more than Starbucks, just saying. The first book that is here, this is in no particular order by the way, it's just my favorites, is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murders. I think the cover is so cute. Some cartoon covers I do enjoy. Others I'm just like, yeah, that's cute, but am I gonna read it? I'm sorry, I judge books by covers. But the day that I picked this up, I remember just seeing a video or Instagram post about this book. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, maybe I'll give that a chance. And then the exact same day I saw it in the store, and I was like, I'm gonna take this as a sign to buy it. So that's what I did. And I really enjoyed this one for the humor and the witty banter of all the characters, but particularly the main character, which is Vera Wong. If you like witty banter, you know, humor, it kind of gives cozy vibes because of the plot. You kind of like felt bad for her. Basically, she owns a tea shop. This is from what I can remember. She owns a tea shop and a murder takes place, and basically, you know, she has a son that doesn't live with her anymore, doesn't really like keep up with her. And I guess just for pure entertainment or just for the sake of wanting to know what's going on in her tea shop, she tries figuring out the murder case on her own. And with that story and plot, you get like a mix of characters that she meets along the way who may or may not be involved with the person that was found in the tea shop. So I thought that was an interesting plot. It did remind me of Only Murders in the Building. I love that show. I find it hilarious. I think season 1 is still by far the best season, but I am a like true viewer because I'm still watching and I'm still waiting for the next season. So I like this one a lot. This next book, oh my gosh, it's just my favorite romance book of all time. And if you follow me anywhere else, like, I don't think I ever stop talking about this book. And now, like, my favorite romance author of all time. I cannot wait for her new series to come out in February. I'm just so excited. This is book 2 in the Love Light Farm series. Again, very cute cartoon cover, but it's absolutely adorable. It's simple, it pulls me in, but I was gravitated towards reading the series because the first book in the Love Light Farm series is called Love Light Farms. It's book number 1 and it takes place around Christmas. So I remember reading that 2 years ago for my Christmas read, and I was like, I gotta pick up book number 2. And I'm so glad I did because I fell in love with this author so much. And I fell in love with these characters too, and I just fell in love with the author's writing. There's something so intimate about her love language with writing. I literally can't explain it. And what I really do appreciate about this book is that you can read it as a standalone, or you can read the series all together. There are 4 books. So this is number 2 in the series, and you can decide whether you want to read them all together in order or not, just because they are interconnected as far as the characters. But again, it's just to have a deeper appreciation for the series as a whole, but feel free to read them individually if you would like to. And this is probably the most tabbed book that I have from last year. I didn't really start annotating my books until last year around this time. I just tabbed my favorite quotes. I absolutely do not want to write in my books, but I feel like down the line that may or may not happen, or maybe I'll use index cards. I don't know. Either way, I just fell in love with this story. I really fell in love with the main female character, Evelyn. I love this book boyfriend because now he's on the list, Beckett. And I think it's just, obviously I love the story, and it really like harps on the theme of happiness and finding your true happiness and what makes you happy. So that I really appreciated. But overall, it was just her writing. So if you love, this is a grumpy sunshine trope. All the books in the series have a different trope. So the first book was Best Friends to Lovers. This is Grumpy Sunshine. I'm finishing book number 3. This is book number 3 called Mixed Signals, and it's getting tabbed as well. This is more of like fake dating, and this is book number 4. So I'm hoping to get to this book in February. Business Casual. Again, the covers are just so cute, and I love this series, and I'm pretty sure I'll love this book too, enough so that I want to collect all of them. I'm collecting them in paperback because I appreciate that that's the first form it came out in. However, if they have the special edition of hardcovers, I might pick that up. But yeah, so this book I just love so much, and so far out of the series, because I have to finish the 3rd one and the 4th one, it's my favorite. So if that wasn't a mouthful of why it's my favorite book, like an author for 2024 romance book, like I can't get enough of it. Anyway, the next book I loved so much because magical realism is one of my favorite genres, especially when it's nothing but cozy. I think like there are obviously cozy fantasy books, but I think there's something extra cozy about magical realism, and this particular book is compared to one of my other favorite books called The House in the Cerulean Sea. So that is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. We got a cartoon cover like theme going on here, which I find absolutely adorable. Again, some covers I'm not too crazy about. Stuff like this, I'm like, oh my god, this one is really cute. And look, you have a guy here with books. Come on now. When you meet him in the book, it makes sense. But I picked this up around the fall, October month, I want to say, or maybe November. But you don't have to start this in Halloween. It's not necessarily a Halloween book. It's just like a cozy fall book. So feel free to pick it up during fall or any other time during the year. But again, I just fell in love with the writing and the cozy vibes, and I believe she's coming out with another book this year, so I'm super excited for that because can't stress it enough, writing is just everything to me, and once you hook me in with your intimate, cozy writing, like 5 stars. And I believe that's what I gave this book, 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. So if you enjoyed The House in the Cerulean Sea, I recommend this book. And that was probably the biggest reason for me to pick this book up, especially because I couldn't stop hearing like that particular type of comparison, and I saw like mad people read it in public, online. I'm just like, what is this book about? So not to say, like, I honestly had the biggest FOMO with this book. Like, FOMO is what makes me buy books like a lot, but I'm getting better. Either way, I recommend this book. Last year, I wanted to give a new genre a chance. Again, with the FOMO in mind, everyone was reading the ACOTAR series, and I'm just like, what is this book? Like, I know it's fantasy, and I don't really read fantasy. Again, I'm more magical realism or dystopia all the way. But they were saying how if you're not really a fantasy reader, you should give ACOTAR a chance anyway, because there's something about it that you will like. and honestly, they were right. Part 1 here. So everyone says it's a slow burn in the beginning for A Court of Thorns and Roses, and although I do agree, like, it's a slow burn of as far as like world building, it's a lot of introduction to the world and characters. I didn't necessarily think it like dragged on. Like, I understood it, I was paying attention, I took my, maybe because I took my time with it, it didn't feel slow. Like, I matched the pace and tone of the book. So with that in mind, I really did enjoy book number 2 a lot, which is A Court of Mist and Fury. These covers are also like stunning to me. I am reading part 3. I'm in the middle of A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I think that cover is so stunning. The book has a few tabs as well. This took me a while to get to just because, like, hello, these books get thicker and thicker. But I really did enjoy the romance aspect of this book between 2 characters. It was a enjoyable slow burn. Usually with slow burns, I'm like, can we like just move on already? But this kept me like on the edge of my seat, wanting to pick up the book every time, page turner for sure. And the ending is what made me want to go to book 3. And I am enjoying book 3 right now, but not as much as I still really enjoyed this book. So thank you, Sarah J. Maas, for introducing me to the world of fantasy and liking it. So I recommend the ACOTAR series. If you are wanting to give fantasy a chance and you're a little uncertain about it, I say start with it and see if you like it. With that being said, maybe I'll give the Fourth Wing series a chance, but don't quote me on that. My last book, oh my gosh. So this 2024 was the year that I finally got into audiobooks. I don't know what took me so long. Never thought about trying it or knowing if I would like it, but I'm forever changed with that. Maybe not necessarily like listening and reading at the same time, although I did at the end with this book, and I really liked it. I am adapting to listening with my headphones on, listening to memoirs more than anything on Audible. So this book holds a special place in my heart because, oh my gosh, I just realized I did not do this on purpose. I'm wearing Gilmore Girls. So it's the 3rd Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop. The queen, oh my goodness. Kelly Bishop, Emily Gilmore. She's Kelly first, always. But when I heard this was coming out, I was so excited. Gilmore Girls is my comfort show. It's just something that I love about the show, and I think it's the writing, and that goes to say the same with the 3rd Gilmore. I heard this book, and like I said, when I heard it was coming out, first of all, it came out like on or around my birthday, okay? That was a sign in itself. And I knew that I wanted the physical copy anyway, like immediately. But I knew I would also want to listen to it because Kelly Bishop narrates the book herself. And I just felt like I was having such a deep conversation with this woman over coffee, over tea, over anything. Like even at a bar, you know, even with an espresso martini. But I just love listening about her life, telling her story, how she came to be well known for her role as Emily Gilmore, how she came to be with other roles that she is also familiar for. So I just loved it. I just loved it so much. I picked it up. First of all, it's signed, okay? I bought it. I bought it before knowing I would get the audiobook. Or maybe I just bought it like sooner than I wanted to start it. Either way, I heard the book, and as I got towards the end, it was when I purchased the book because I was like, I know I'm gonna buy it anyway. So that's when I was listening to her reading it and like reading it at the same time, and I really loved it. Oh, I got it from the book club in New York City, which I want to go to. It's like a bar where you sit and read and get a drink, and that's the dream. So so appreciative of this book and this woman and her life. And you don't have to watch Gilmore Girls to listen to this or read it, but it just gives you a deeper appreciation for reading and listening to this for her life. So I do recommend if you are a Gilmore Girl head. And you should tell me what team you are on in the comments below. I'm Team Jess. I just love him. Pretty much all of my book favorites from 2024. 2024 was a great year, especially with reading. I think October was probably like the best month I had, because I remember with the third Gilmore Girl book, I was also listening to other memoirs. I had a Kindle read, and I had A Court of Mist and Fury I was reading around that time. So it just felt like my reading aligned with each other, and I was just in complete bliss. So hopefully here is to a great and happy and healthy 2025 and a happy reading 2025. So right now, like I said, I'm reading A Court of Rings and Ruin, physical book. My Kindle book, I'm going to pick my February Valentine's Day read, which is Cupid's Shot by Serena Peer. And my Audible, I just finished listening to Remarkably Bright Creatures. I'll probably do a review on that soon, but I wish I paid attention to it more as far as picking up my headphones to listen to it. I feel like I didn't give it the attention it deserves, but I loved it. It was still a very enjoyable book. So I love listening to that, and I started listening to The House of My Mother. I believe her name is Sherry Frankie. I'll put it here as well. So those are my reading updates. Those were my book favorites from 2024, and I will share with you guys the books that I want to read this year for 2025. Those are the books that I already started with, so we're off to a good start. And yeah, follow me on Instagram. I will have that link provided in the description box below. Subscribe if you want more bookish content. I am just trying to be more active on this platform. And yeah, everything else you want to find, my Goodreads is down there as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next bookish video for next time. So thank you for watching. Bye.